I'm going to be planning the week of October 24th through October 30th, 2016 in my Erin Condren Horizontal Neutral Life Planner. I'm going to be also using this as kind of an opportunity to talk about my thoughts on the Erin Condren Sticker Sheets. And this is going to be a two-part situation that I'm going to be doing. Today I'm going to be planning my week in the horizontal, and then I will post another video tomorrow, the next day, on my planning the week in the hourly, also with the same Erin Condren sticker sheets. I gave in an earlier video, I gave my first impressions of them, just taking them out of the bag, whatnot, and I said that I would do another video on them as soon as I had a chance to give them a bit of a test. So today's video, we will be talking about that test that I did while I'm also planning out my week in them. So you'll notice that this one that I can't see what I'm fucking doing. Okay. So you'll notice that this one that I am working with, the Halloween one, is a one that writing on is not necessarily a thing. Like, I haven't tested like a white gel pen on them. I haven't done that yet. I probably could, but that hasn't really been a thing that I've felt like doing. So what I'm doing now is I'm measuring the top of this to figure out how, much of this I actually need. What I found was that these are usable, but that I personally do not get a lot of use out of all of the elements of this as is. Like, I have gotten some use out of some of them, but I guess maybe what I'm trying to say is that I have had to alter some of these to get them to kind of work with what I want. But see, that looks cool though. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with altering things if by altering them I will be able to get more use out of them. Is it worth it to buy these sticker strips these sticker situations if you have to alter them to use them? Well, that depends, I guess. For me, honestly, it's worth it purely because I like the patterns on them. In some sense, it's also a little kind of obnoxious to have to cut things up and do things like this. This is not my thing I love to do. I am not someone who loves to like paper craft and scrapbook. Never my thing. So having to do these extra steps is a little bit more than I'd like. However, I like the patterns. So you'll notice that I am using the Halloween. I said this already and I'm going to repeat it again because I lost my train of thought. You'll notice I'm using the Halloween sticker set. It's dark. The Halloween sticker set is very dark. And I'm using these little flags to cover up these little flags. They're orange, but I think these little flags add some fun to it, so I'm going to use them. So you notice I'm using the darker set. The reason being is that personally, for what I discovered, because I've used two sets so far. I used this watercolor set in my horizontal. I tested out the mid-century circles in my hourly, and by doing that, I can already tell you that that was a mistake I made for my own personal. That is one thing I've noticed with these stickers is they peel there. I don't know if they're removable or not. I didn't check the specs, but if they're not removable, they're pretty fucking close to removable because I have been able to replace them. Whatever, I'll fix that later. Now it's so fucking crooked. Okay, so let's see if I can actually finish my train of thought. So the reason I'm using the darker set for the horizontal is because the horizontal does not have time frames on it. I use the horizontal for to-do lists, for looking at the things I need to do. And so I have a little bit more space for decorative stickers, right? When it comes to the hourly, I need those stickers to be ready for me to use them. Like I need I need to be able to write on the stickers that I'm using. And for the ones that are like the mid-century circles or this Halloween one, it is really freaking impossible to see what you're doing or see what you've written on them because of the darkness of the patterns. So, and that did not cut straight, but I don't even care. This is not washi tape. These are the paper sticker strips, and I could be cutting these and they would be a lot neater than what I'm doing currently, but honestly, I have given up on straight. So I've been using these in lieu of skinny washi because I feel like while I could use these in a whole bunch of different ways, doing it this way means everything's been kind of, they're not hard to write on. They're matte. They're pretty easy to write on. But in terms of being able to see what you're doing, they are not practical for me to use in the hourly. However, they are pretty great for me to use in the horizontal because my horizontal has a little bit more forgiveness when it comes to decorating. So that's something to keep in mind. When you look at the sticker sheets on the website and you're thinking about ordering any of them, try and figure out if you want them to be purely decorative or if you want to be able to write on them. Now I'm going to slap on some washi. This is Scotch brand from last year, and this I got from the co-op for the bottom part to add a little bit more fun. And as a side note, yes, I'm decorating for Halloween the week before Halloween because, I don't know, I felt like it. I normally do a stamp for dinner, but honestly, this week I just don't have it in me for stamping. So instead, I'm using these little crock pots from Lily Henry to mark my dinner spot. And I'm going to go ahead and write in my dinner plans. I'm using a Pigma Micron 01. So my camera cut out on me while I was doing my weather doodles. So if you want to see how I do these, I'll link the video up above here. And I just colored them in with Tombow markers. I also have not put weather or meal plans past Thursday because I haven't gotten that far. And what I've been doing now is using the checklists from this sheet for my get did list. And if you haven't seen my previous plan with me where I talk about the get did list, it's kind of like a running to-do list for the week where it's things that may not be necessarily tied to that day. They may be, but they may not be. And if I can't get to them, then I'll scoot them to the next get did list. And that's kind of my way I've been playing with a running to-do list, giving myself some space. Now, the first time I tried this, I had a get did list every day. And what I've become to realize is that on the days I go to class, I don't have as much time to go run extra errands or random errands or whatnot. So part of like being a planner is being realistic in what you can do in your time. So being realistic, I'm giving myself 4 days of get did list instead of 7. Plus that works out because there's only 4 checklists on the sticker sheet. So as you can see, I've used so far these strips, and this for decoration. When you run into these specific ones, they're kind of hard to use for, if they're the ones that you have to write on, they're kind of hard to use for anything except decoration because they're difficult to see, right? But there's some different ways. But there are some different ways that you can make them work. For example, I'm going to take this one. It's the half box kind of. It's not exactly a half box, but it's mostly kind of a half box. And I'm going to put it here where I normally put all of my church information, right? And then I'm going to slap this scallop box on here. And I'm going to use this scallop box is from KrissyAnne Designs. And I don't have a lot going on at church on Sunday this week, but I am going to be in the classroom. This might not work if you have to put a lot of stuff on here. It's going to reduce your space. that can be a fun way to use these stickers, but you're going to have to like layer them. To make them work, you're going to have to layer them. Big flag that they give you, which I find pretty easy to use to mark like a big situation that's going on. So my husband's going to be out. And notice my regular pen for the paper works just fine on these. Well, wasn't that lovely? You can use them like these little flags that are the blank ones, because each sticker sheet comes with 2 of these plain flags. So what I've been doing is taking these little cutout icons from KrissyAnne Designs and layering them on top. Like you could use them on their own, or you could write on them for a time. But what I've used them for is marking my work hours. For when it comes to the extra pieces like these, like I could take this bats if I wanted to and layer them right on top. I'm not going to because I'm not really feeling that right now, but you could do that. These pieces would be reusable elsewhere on the whole situation. This is one way to use these sheets. The biggest issue you will run into with the sheets like the bats, the Halloween one, or the mid-century circles, and there's a couple of others that are really dark, is that you want to remember that they're going to mostly be for decoration. You can use them in layering. However, when it comes to functionality, they are not very functional because they are difficult. This is super crooked. I wonder if I can get it up. Yeah, that's what she said. They are too dark to be able to write on. You could probably write on them with maybe I will grab my Signo and see if I can do a test run for you. I'm going to do that. So for the sake of testing, I've got a Uniball Signo in white and a Jelly Roll pen in white. These are my 2 favorite gel pens to use on dark surfaces. So I'm just going to write on this. They show up really well. Except my Uniball is kind of not thrilled with me. It's been a while since I've used it, so it's still a little bit, it needs to get the flow going better. But they show up okay. So you can use white pen on these. I'm going to add a little highlight to this situation, I think. It's like you can use the gel pens. I don't like using white gel pens a lot everywhere. I tend to want to just have black ink for days and leave it at that. But the pen works just fine on the paper. So you can totally use these for that if you like that. It's just not something I generally choose to use. This has been my somewhat plan with me. It's not an entire plan with me, but because I spent so much time rambling about the stickers, I didn't want to go too much deeper into my plan in my week. This is about how many. Like if you look at last week, you'll see that it's about as many as I used, but I did use more of the other pieces of stickers because I could write on them. So when it comes to using the darker ones, such as the Halloween one, just resign yourself, or not resign yourself, but expect that these will be more decorative rather than functional, okay? So in the next couple of days, I will get another plan with me up where I am talking about using how I used these same stickers in the hourly, and I'm going to use a set that you can write on so that you can see how I use those. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you next time.